All right, here is our time shifted feature for the round. We've got our black red player that we've been following a little bit of here versus another four color Omnath deck. Again, three of
Okay.
our top eight remaining players are on four color Omnath at this point.
Yep. And well, now only two, because one was just eliminated there.
That's
So
true.
we are
Yep.
down to only two of them.
So, and again, both of these players in this match are have a loss. So this are elimination matches at this point for both of these
Mm-hmm.
players.
Yeah, back against the wall here, and we get the full match. That is awesome because I want to see how these interactions work. And we did see this matchup once before, right? And Rakdos took it down.
Yeah, we came in partway through one of these at the end of the last match. I'm interested to see, is that a fluke or is that the norm? And again here, Agonizing Remorse looking very, very good against Uro, being able to cleanly exile that.
Yeah, no kidding. Taking that out right away, just saying, all right, you can have your Omnath, and I don't even think we can cast it right now.
Yep,
Right? The
and again,
pathway is blue something. It's not white, right?
yep, exactly like we saw before. The fact that the way these pathway lands interact with compared to temples or compared to shock lands, you just don't have as good a fixing as we did when Ravnica was around anymore.
Yep, yep.
We
Yeah,
see
I see what you do here at the Hooglandia. You just showcase the Omnath decks when they're getting destroyed. That's smart. That's smart. Put these Uro decks in their place, huh?
we see a decision here that's interesting on the red black player's part. They elected to hold Spike Field Hazard here on the off chance I would assume that Lotus Cobra or Uro comes off the top.
Yeah, I like that. And the deck stops at 3 for a lot of your a lot of pieces of interaction. So if anything, probably just playing it next turn, but that was playing around a specific Uro off the top, which yeah, heads up play.
Yep. We see again that shake on the Triome there, probably signaling like, I would like a pathway in my colors.
Yes, yes. Rabble, rabble, rabble.
See a little Bone Crusher Giant on both sides of the board, just quality cards that staple in all these red decks. Still missing that critical white mana to cast that Omnath up top for Flesh Eating Gnome here. Got a decision to make on our red-black player's part. Do they want to offer the trade here, or do they want to like spend 2 burn spells and take 4? I feel like you just offer the trade with a second Bone Crusher in hand, probably.
I think so too. You just probably just cast the other one. It feels bad to not get the front value, but still, I think worth it here.
All right, I love the Mire Triton flipping over here. We see that Phoenix of Ash coming down, which is a very powerful card to escape from the graveyard. See some escape
No,
to the wilds happening.
Oh, yeah, I guess you can do
Wow.
that, or yeah, I was gonna say that or Cobra into Omnath there, but wow, that is too many spells to be able to cast. That is insane.
Yeah, not only that, but like if you're DMA here, you're like breathing a sigh of relief that like Ugin is showing his ugly head when he's uncastable here.
No kidding. Yeah, and I mean hindsight's 2020 and it's easy to evaluate here, but we also did have the line of going Lotus Cobra, play a land Omnath there, and cast a spell that is otherwise uncastable right now. And I think I maybe would have erred on that side first, especially when only 2 mana was available and you can't go end step Murderous Rider Omnath. So you're basically forcing DMA to say, hey, your next turn has to be kill Omnath, and then you escape the wilds. But still a good play here as
Well,
well.
so one thing that's interesting about Omnath is that I don't actually feel like he's guaranteed to be a must-kill card in a lot of situations because while he does generate value and buffer your life total, he buffers your life total every turn. Unlike Uro, he technically doesn't generate value every turn, right? Like he
Yep,
ramps you and can
correct.
let you get ahead, but it's not like Uro where if you miss a turn killing him, they're going to gain some life, sure, but they're not also going to bury you in cards, which is great.
But the thing is, when you add four, I agree with you. But when you untap on like this board, for instance, and you escape the wild and you play 2 lands, now all of a sudden you're playing another spell. So not only are you getting a free spell out of it, gaining that life, but then you're just like turbo ramping out to spells. And I think that is just too much for this style of deck to overcome. The life gain is still kind of brutal as well, because we've seen this time and time again today. DMA is just nickel and diming people and crossing over the finish line with Croxa. So I think it's close. I think it's really close.
Yeah, that's fair. Gaining 8
Yep.
is a really big deal with the amount of
Yeah,
pressure that, like, there's no Ember Cleave in DMA's deck, right? Like, we don't have this big go over
exactly.
the top card that lets you, like, not care about that amount of life gain. And we see here
Yep.
Flesh Eating Gnome choosing to basically give up 3 cards on their previous Escape the Wild. So that Escape the Wild is basically a 5 mana draw 2, which is not a very good rate.
Yeah, it didn't look very good there. That's for sure. But you could have flipped over 3 lands and an Omnath and a Cobra, and it would have been great. So just maybe
Yep.
a little bit of variance on that card, and that is definitely a high variance card. Anything where you flip over 5 cards or 6 cards,
Yep.
there's variance involved, and sometimes it's bad.
I wonder if we'll see what we talked about during earlier today, where we could see Omnath die in response to its draw card here, so it never gets a landfall trigger.
Yeah, God, and I honestly, and here's the perfect time. Let's
Yep.
see if it's done.
Yep.
Because this shuts this down very well. Looks like DMA is on top of this. Smart play there. Heads up to him there. That is excellent.
And
The
just
draw card was actually a detriment there,
Yep. And feeling awkward here, so like, this is the Escape the Wilds that Gnome wanted last time, right? Like now they've got
Yeah.
like 9 mana in play. They're like, where's my Ugin on my Escape the Wilds? And Escape the Wilds is like, have some mana.
Oh, you asked for mana? I got you covered now. Yeah, and I mean, hey, this Felidar Retreat is going to be good, but the one thing that Flesh Eating Gnome is missing, a couple things here, a ton of life, which Omnath would have delivered, and flyers, which, this Phoenix of Ash has just been looking amazing all day.
Yep.
All day, Phoenix of Ash has impressed me.
Rankle to pair with it too, right? Just both those evasive top end threats that are hasty. The fact that Phoenix is recursive, obviously very good though as well.
Yep.
Uro is looking to get into the battlefield here, see if he can stabilize the board. If anybody can do it, Uro can.
No kidding. And just honestly, after looking at decks, I have 3 decks that I very, very much want to try now. Rakdos, the Gruul Adventures, and the Sultai Midrange deck from Jamal Clinton. Just really cool decks for week 1 that I didn't necessarily think of these combinations.
Nice.
Nice. All right, there goes Uro.
Okay, and Uro's down. Again, we don't have exact graveyard counts here, but I don't...
Yep.
Yeah, they can't escape Uro again here. And the Phoenix is just lethal in the air. Now, a single Uro trigger is enough to deny lethal here, right? Because they'll go up to 8 and Phoenix will only get to 7 here, unfortunately.
Yep. So not going to be quite over right away. And, with it not being over right away, there is some scary stuff happening with this Felidar Retreat. So
yeah, really.
Is that just an escaped one already? Holy.
Are cards that make your lands make 2/2s good? I think I heard something about that in some other formats.
Yeah, I think so. I think they are pretty good. Field of the Cat dead?
Field of the Cat. Up to a casual 11 here. Extra Phoenix could be enough to punch through here. Like, DMA is not dead on board, which is good. And this Ox is going to get to turn into some cards.
Yeah, so what if we just pump twice? 5, 7, 14. 14 is lethal here. If we just go pump, that is lethal through an Uro.
Okay.
And forces something. I think that's the line I would take.
Yep. Gnome's Graveyard is
Bang.
empty sans that one Uro there, so.
That ain't it. Drum roll. We got one top deck here. We need something.
There's how many Ugins is Gnome on is a real question. We burned through one of those earlier.
Yep, I would guess 1.
Just a singleton Ugin,
one.
Yep.
I like playing that style of effect as one-ofs, but okay, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Yeah, it doesn't really matter about lethal. 14, yeah, I mean, you just have to block.
Yep. Going
and
to 7.
Stop. Oh.
And then double pump of the Phoenix next turn is lethal. That being said, if we hold on to this Bone Crusher Giant, DMA could potentially Could potentially play this other Phoenix to diversify threats and get stomped here. Very heads up play. Again, deck lists are public, so they know they should be playing around Bone Crusher.
Yep, yep. Smart play. And at this point, you just have to go for it. There's no bluffing or anything. You're dead on the crackback. So nice. So, and honestly, we said it here, Jeff, that play of killing Omnav with the trigger on the stack won the game.
Yep.
You know, and that's something that's not
lethal.
necessarily obvious. So,
yep. Love it.
Yeah, that was awesome. Great play. Another player that's been playing excellent all day is DMA 005. Yeah, I didn't know you had so many pros that play in this Hooglandia Open.
It's good. It's fun. It's fun to watch and analyze.
I like it. I like it. Yeah, it's been a pleasure hanging with you today, Jeff. I must say, thanks for having me.
And if you're someone at home watching and interested in playing, 2 weekends from now, we're going to be having a historic tournament. And these are open entry events. These are probably the largest open entry events with coverage right now that you can play in on Magic Arena without jumping through any extra hoops. So if you want to make a name for yourself playing some tournament Magic, considering signing up and playing in our next one here and win some Cool Stuff Inc. store credit while you're at it.
Sounds like a plan to me. I might have to get on the digital streets here. I got a favorite historic deck that I love playing, that Rakdos Arcanist deck. That is exactly my style. I love it.
All right, so got Flesh Eaten Gnome happy with their sideboard planned here. Interested to see what the red-black player does. So I feel like they're interested in being aggressive again. They're obviously the beatdown, but again, that balance that you've talked about, that's the push and pull of, well, okay, I also need answers to Uro in my deck still is definitely very much a thing.
Yeah, I think one thing that I would do if I was playing Rakdos is the kind of basic template of on the draw, maxing out on every piece of removal, and then on the play, dialing it back a little bit and being proactive and trying to do my game plan. Just kind of a general rule of just standard in general. That's kind of how I like to have it here. Like on the draw, I want all of those deal 1 damage cards. I want all my grasps, you know, and then on the play, maybe just a little bit less of that kind of stuff.
See, a pretty reasonable hand here for DMA. I think your turn 2 Agonizing Remorses are probably some of your best starts in this matchup. Being able to guarantee they don't have Uro on 3 is very powerful.
Yep, agreed. And honestly, we see some of the bad ends of these very powerful 4-color Omnath decks. So just like, look at this hand. This hand is clunky, and there's really nothing you can do to avoid the clunkiness. When you play ramp spells, Cobra, Omnath, all these things that give you a lot of mana, you have to be playing payoff stuff. And if you draw the wrong order of that stuff, your deck is very, very clunky or all mana, you know?
Yep. And Cobra, while being very powerful and explosive, has a real downside that a lot of ramp spells we've had recently don't have, which is that they're not a payoff, right? Like Nissa, Uro, these cards ramp you, but they also killed the opponent, whereas Lotus Cobra is just a 2-1.
Yeah, Lotus Cobra does not do any killing in any regard there. That is a very good point. And honestly, that's how it should be. My ramp spells should not also kill me.
I agree. There should be some drawback to going big, and I like this play on DMA's part. They're basically correctly identifying that they need to assume a more controlling role to win this game.
Yep, especially with how this is set up here. Got that Bloodthirst lined up for Elder Gargaroth. That is huge here because that is definitely something that could run away with the game. And honestly, at 7 already, you're in a rough spot here against even this Bone Crusher. Like, you don't really want to have to kill it because Gargaroth's here. So I like just playing that, trying to gain a little bit of life. Save your main removal spell for Gargaroth.
You're like kind of hoping they miss on their 5th land there for the turn, and they did not. So like now you can kick this and kill the Gargaroth, but now you're like dead to a removal spell, unfortunately. Oh, I like this. Okay, so we attack.
You can attack, right?
Okay,
Yeah,
I like that.
Attack.
That's much better.
Yep. Buys you a turn, and maybe we're getting close to Karaxa at this point.
This is why I'm doing commentary. I'm not playing Magic today. You know, undefeated.
Undefeated, never lost.
There's a mauling that we can't cast yet.
I don't know. You did defeat me one time. I laughed so hard with your the hot signal. That was a 2-0 to me.
So do we Rider to gain 2 and then leave back Phoenixes on defense here?
I think that's what I would do. But here's the thing, double blocking with Murderous Rider and Phoenix of Ash is pretty nice. You only get to kill one of the creatures, presumably killing Murderous Rider. So I think it's defensible either way. I would tend to lean on the aggro side, but oh, that's a draw.
That's a red cat melee.
Oh,
so
bang.
We get to kill a Phoenix. Oh gosh. So we get to do this and then this with the Lotus
We get
Cobra.
to cultivate first, yep.
Cobra's so silly.
Yeah.
And then the Phoenix has to chump block the Bone Crusher Giant, and then they end up at 1 again.
At 1. We can actually play Felidar Retreat as well, right? No, we're 1 short of that. Yeah, I think you just red cap melee, hold the land, and be on your way. Red cap melee, crash with both. And say what you will about Felidar Retreat, if you like it or hate it, it has certain applications in other matchups, but this is going to be one of those matches where I think it is pretty good, where a red-black deck that's trying to kill your creatures on 1-for-1 basis, Felidar Retreat just spitting out cats is going to be quite strong here.
Yeah, definitely. And, while we did finally get a black way to destroy enchantments in this latest set, it's not super playable, and we don't see any of them in DMA's deck. So, once that Felidar Retreat happens, it's just, there, and you have to deal with it.
Yep, for sure. Yeah, it's Croxa time. That makes sense to me.
Yeah, and I like this identification from DMA that, okay, I need to get onto the board, and I need to kill them as opposed to trying to generate card advantage here against Felidar Retreats.
Mm-hmm. Oh.
Ooh, that's a cultivate.
I guess I just saw... Oh, yeah, that's so strong. Yeah, now you just get... Yeah, it's pretty awkward, though, because you want to cast Felidar Retreat first, but you need the mana off Omnath, so just a bit of an awkward scenario here.
So we have the Mauling, we have a blocker, and then do we start attacking with Croxa?
I mean, you got it at some point, right? Because you're not beating these retreats, so I think you have to. I think right now you just accept the fact that if they draw removal, they win.
So you just hope that your opponent doesn't draw spells or lands for the rest of the game.
Exactly. Yep.
that's the out. Lands are bad for you, and spells are probably also bad for you.
How about a spell into a land? That's the real feels bad moment.
Yep.
So the pump isn't big. I guess double pump is pretty big here, or it's at least decent.
Okay.
Double cat's pretty good too.
There's a Bone Crusher Giant, I guess. So you get to kill that, and then we get to play Bone Crusher Giant. I guess we could play Calls the Dead because it fills. We can escape the Phoenix.
Oh yeah, that's not great. Yeah, I forget Phoenix is only 3 cards. That is a pretty high rate. Man, Phoenix, can you attack? You die to a land, I guess, but how are you winning any other way? So 3, put them down to 9, then an attack again, 6, pump, 4. Oh, plus a Croxa trigger. Yeah, so if they draw something that is a blank, it's over, but that land does it. As long as they pump the team.
Is that lethal with the lifelink?
Oh yeah, with lifelink. Okay. So 4. No, it's not. Wow.
I think you cycle then, right? Since it's not lethal because of the lifelink. Because your worst hit's another land, and you could draw a spell that gets you multiple landfall triggers. So there's a lot of upside.
Well, you do just gain 4 as well here, and then
That's
if you
true.
get in, I guess Croxa stays back though.
If you draw Lotus Cobra here, you're super sad.
Yeah, that'd be a sad panda.
Okay, that's an Elder Gargoth. That's a murder. Murder, she wrote.
Well, isn't this just lethal? Pump the Phoenix, attack with Croxa?
Well, no, the Gargoth has reach.
Oh, yeah, Gargoth has reach.
Keyword
and it can gain life there. And it can gain life. So, yep, that's bad. I guess, yeah, same thing as last turn, right? Or wait, you attack with that too?
I say
this is a chump.
Yeah, because forcing a chump is very similar to blocking, right?
To blocking, yeah.
Oh no! It's always you! Why is it always you?
Oh no!
And a fabled passage. Oh, God.
What?
Oh,
Jesus. Well,
well.
the Fable passage is lethal.
Well, it was close. It was close for a second there.
Wow. Honestly, though, flesh-eating gnome drew like an all-star to get out of this.
I
Like an
mean,
absolute
they
all-star.
they had a brick for a turn. The Gargoth turn was only average. And remember,
Yeah, I love that Gargaroth was your brick. Oh yeah, why not?
why not?
Hello.
Sure.
Just
Why
please get me
just
out of this game.
the roller coaster. Just get me off of it, please. DMA. All right. The aggro motto. Game 3 on the play. Let's go. Ship it.
Ship it, holla. Yeah, that's what that deck just does sometimes. And honestly, that's just the direction that Standard has fallen in for a while, is just this snowbally style of Magic. And if things get out of hand, you leave one of these creatures unchecked, and then you just draw into something like that, and boom, all of a sudden, you just have 20 permanents in play. It's insane.
All right, you ready for some speed magic? These players are done and the next round is up, so I'm going to crank us up
Right,
here
yeah,
so we
let's
can get
speed
through
it
the
up.
last one. We're going to set it to warp speed, chat, okay?
I'll buckle up.
I don't want to not cover the last game. I want to find out what happens here live with all the rest of you.
Yeah, I'm down for some speeded up stuff. That looks great.
All right, 2x. Let's do it. There's
that means we have to speed up our commentary, right?
There's that turn 2 agonizing remorse that we talked about that's very instrumental. Notable that DMA does not have any meaningful pressure in their hand right now, though.
Nope, not really. Meyer Triton is not exactly the biggest beater here. And a very, very good hand from Flesh Eating Gnome. That's kind of the ideal stuff that you want to see.
Yep. Now, that being said, this curve's very good here. We get to go ahead and Agonize Remorse them again, and then we have Spike Field Hazard here for this. And something that's very notable about Calls the Dead in DMA's deck is that can draw them into Phoenixes and Croxes. So even though it doesn't look like a lot of pressure, it could turn into it.
Yeah, and I mean, here, just those 3 disruptive spells here have completely picked apart Flesh Eating's hand so far, and we have the Murderous Rider for Gargaroth next turn. So now it's just going to come the fact that all these decks, all these Omnath decks, their top decks are just absolutely unbelievable because they just have all these draw 5s in their deck.
Yep.
And we already see one.
Yep. So we got a tap land there per player, and there's Uro. I'm not liking the look of it for our red black player here.
Yeah, nope. That just those kind of top decks are just too much to come up or to recover from.
You know, you've played a lot of modern and stuff like that on the tour. Feels very Tron, man.
Feels Tron, man. Yeah, that's well said. Well said. I've been playing a lot of decks when I was, back in the before times when we were allowed to go to SCGs. I was playing a lot of decks that had great matchups against Tron, though. So that's a good feeling going into a tournament. Be like, you smug Tron players are not going to be beating me today.
So this Felidar, make 3 cats, play an Uro? Nope. We're playing, yep. All right, yep.
Yeah, all right, sure. No big deal.
No big. We're going to start
Feels
growing
okay, man.
We're gonna grow the cats. The fact that it puts 1/1 counters on things, too, when you get to that point in the game is pretty crazy.
Yeah. Wow. These are some fast cats.
They are. Both these players are fast cats, you know? So keeping that Fabled Passage there for the extra landfall trigger, obviously.
This just feels like technicalities at this point. Really, really tough to come back from this.
Yeah, really seeing that disruption, if it's not paired with a quick clock, can't be meaningful here. Like, the red-black player's start felt very good from the perception of, disrupting the opponent, but they weren't killing them while they did it. And honestly, it's hard to sometimes if they have the right draw, right? Because, like, Agonizing Remorse costs so much mana.
Yep. Nope, you're totally right. Oh, yeah, and then there's the pump. There's a little extra value. We're going to be done here quite soon. Fighting the good fight, though. I like it. And game.
And that'll do it.
Oh, we're back. I like that we're fighting this out.
Kitty.
You gotta do all your game actions.
All right.
DMA falls, the hero